Kyiv prepares for a winter with no heat, water or power.
Here's a summary of the article.
Kyiv, Ukraine. The mayor of Kyiv, Ukraine's capital, is warning residents that they must prepare for the worst this winter if Russia keeps striking the country's energy infrastructure, and that means having no electricity, water or heat in the freezing cold cannot be ruled out. We are doing everything to avoid this. But let's be frank, our enemies are doing everything for the city to be without heat, without electricity, without water supply, in general, so we all die. And the future of the country and the future of each of us depends on how prepared we are for different situations, Mayor Vitaly Klitschko told state media. Russia has focused on striking Ukraine's energy infrastructure over the last month, causing power shortages and rolling outages across the country. Kyiv plans to deploy about 1,000 heating points, but noted that this may not be enough for a city of 3 million people. The attacks have almost completely destroyed the power plants that serve the city of Bakhmut and the nearby town of Soledar, said Pavlo Kyrylenko, the region's Ukrainian governor, said. In the Donetsk city of Bakhmut, 15,000 remaining residents were living under daily shelling and without water or power, according to local media. In one sliver of good news, the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant was reconnected to Ukraine's power grid, local media reported Sunday.
This post received a score of 36,000, with an upvote ratio of 95%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
On my local news, there were reports of consideration on evacuation of whole Kyiv if heat, water and power problem is not resolved for winter, and we are taking about 3 million people. Such a sad scene it will be if it comes to it. I have no idea how will they pull off that.
They're going for heating shelters first. Evacuation is a last resort, but you don't want to plan it last second obviously.
My fear for heating shelters is that they become targets for airstrikes. Russia doesn't seem to care about war crimes and collateral damage. If they can make citizens fear that the heating shelters might be targeted, then they might not be used.
Putin has never cared about war crimes or collateral damage. He encircled the entire city, trapped upwards of 150,000 civilians inside it, then systemically bombed the fuck out of it, block by block, with airstrikes and artillery. That was just back when he was a prime minister. He wasn't even the full dictator he is today yet.
And that was just back when he was a prime minister. He wasn't even the full dictator he is today yet. The PM role was a sham. He was always in control.
His second PM stint, 2008–12, was a sham. In the first stint, 1999–2000, when the siege of Grozny happened, he was Yeltsin's PM.
Yeltsin was too drunk to care.
Clinton spent billions in dollars and massive amount of political capital, include delaying NATO expansion, to support Yeltsin. Which got us Putin today. And #X200B, greater than.
US funding overseas almost always goes to wrong people. They wanted to help Afghanistan to fight USSR and gave money to Pakistan, who in turn armed the fucking Mujahideens. Similarly, they wanted to protect democracy in Russia and the money went to Putin via Yeltsin. They should just stop and leave these countries for themselves. Unless there is a direct invasion or genocide like in Ukraine, US should just look inside.
Just like the good old days of campfire, streams, and candlelight. Thanks Putin.
This war of mine.
Greater than this war of mine. God, I hate that this was the exact imagery that popped into my head when I read the headline. I'm still affected by how depressing that game was, and here are all its facets in stark reality.
I gotta confess, I'm from Kyiv and I've played this war of mine during the spring 2022, lol. PS played it thoroughly through the very end, by the way.
I live in Kyiv. Now we have no electricity. I am writing from the mobile internet. But heating in Kyiv was turned on October 20th, and since then the temperature has been around 23.5 to 24.5 degrees Celsius. At least it's still warm.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.